If you're seeing small channels make millions of dollars on YouTube while you struggle to sign a single client, I'm gonna break down exactly what's happening. See, the YouTube algorithm has changed, but most people are still following the old rules without knowing that we're playing an entirely different game. On the other hand, we're seeing guys like Iman Ghazi, Charlie Morgan, and Jordan Welsh take advantage of it to make millions of dollars on YouTube. And in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how they're doing it. This way you can use it for yourself. Now, before we dive into how these creators are taking advantage of this new opportunity, you need to understand what the algorithm is doing. See, the old algorithm would show your video to a group of people, and out of those people, whoever liked it, they'd show it to a similar audience. However, now it does the opposite. It looks at your video, figures out who'd be interested in it, and then only shows it to that type of person. Which means even a channel with a couple hundred or a couple thousand subscribers can generate dozens, if not hundreds of leads from their channel without going viral. And we're already seeing creators take advantage of it by ditching their millions of subscribers just to focus on videos that less people want to watch. Now, their strategy is simple. And the first part of it is the type of content they're creating. See, they're not just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. They create a mix of videos that brings in new people to their channels, showcase their results, and handle objections before anyone even books a call. This way, they don't need millions of views to turn their subscribers into buyers. Now, here's exactly how they're doing it. Now, we're gonna use Iman Ghazi as the main example here, but the first type of videos are gonna be how-to videos. So you can see here, how to make $100,000 per month with WAP. And as you can see, this is on his smaller channel with only 60,000 subscribers, while his main channel has over 5 million. So the main pros and cons with these how-to videos are that could be that they're really strong conversion assets because they deliver a ton of value. They get a little bit more views than pure like SEO plays or stuff that's ranking for the search because it's more engaging and delivering a lot of that value. And then some of the cons are going to be that it can attract the wrong audience if you go like too broad, although that's like more of a messaging issue. And it's easy to blend in because a lot of how-to videos already exist. So if you're trying to differentiate, it might be a little bit more difficult, or you might have to like go into topics they don't necessarily always talk about. But the main pros, like I said, is going to be that it's a super strong conversion asset because you're walking through people exactly how to do the thing that they want to do. Like for example, if they want to make $100,000 per month with WAP, like you're going to be able to show them exactly how to do that, taking them from essentially like a state of hell and like pain to their dream state. And when you do that within a single video, people are going to be way more inclined to buy from you. Now, the next type of video is going to be a case study breakdown. So in this case, Iman Ghazi uses himself as the case study. How I made $92.7 million with digital products, so you can just copy me. How I built a $100 million personal brand. I think Jordan Welsh is another good example here. How I made $100,000 from one YouTube video. How I make $138,000 a month with 2,000 subscribers. $2 million from one YouTube channel, just copy me. Now, Jordan is also going to be somebody who's going over a lot of his own results. And the main pros for videos like these is that they're going to be the best conversion asset because it's just pure social proof. And you could talk about, in other examples like client results, your results, and then go over exactly how you got them and put social proof throughout the whole thing. They're also going to be great because they nurture people and turn them into high quality leads. So imagine somebody who watches that how-to video beforehand. It might still be a little bit skeptical. They don't know if you're 100% legit. And they come across this case study video where you're going through the exact process you got to achieve a specific result already, something that you've already done. And they're going to trust you way more because they're seeing that you've already got the results that they want to get for other people or yourself. Now, the cons here is that you're just going to get a lot less views. Now, Iman is somebody who does well and he's getting still 100,000 views, 94,000 views, 36,000 views because he's like a big name. But like Jordan Welsh is a good example. He's only getting 10,000, 4,000, like say 4,000 to 2,500 at the lowest on a channel with 9,000 subscribers, which is still pretty solid in the grand scheme of things. But Jordan can get millions and millions of views if he wants to. So this is telling you that this is exactly the goal and he only wants to reach a small amount of people. And the reason being is because all 2,500 people who view this video might be interested in his service. And even if he can convert 5 of them, he's probably going to bring in, 100K a month. Now, the last type of video is going to be the top of funnel content. So we're going to see something like this one from Jordan Welsh, where he purposely went to get views and got them. He says, don't start a personal brand, do this instead. Now, what this does is it reaches the largest amount of people you could potentially reach because he's not talking about YouTube in this case at all. He's not talking about making money. He's just talking to people in the personal brand space. So anybody who knows what a personal brand is, wants to build a personal brand, usually like business owners, they're going to be attracted to this type of video because he's saying something that's really controversial by saying, don't start a personal brand, do this instead. And then goes over like his specific strategy. The micro niche strategy is what he calls it. And he goes through that entire thing. So these people are less aware of what he's selling. So it's more top of funnel is what we call it. And what this does is it brings people into his ecosystem so he can then target them with the how-to videos and the case study breakdowns. This kind of completes that funnel that they're building. However, the conversions on something like that is going to be a little bit lower. It's more to just get eyeballs into the ecosystem rather than like take them and convert them into new clients. Just because you're not going to be giving as much value away, because you have to take somebody from a state of like unawareness to just like more like problem and solution aware, rather than going through like the whole conversion process. Now, building out an ecosystem like this for your channel is a great way to book calls from YouTube, but it's only one part of the process, because you still need to find which videos work best for you, test new ideas, and constantly analyze the results. However, most business owners don't have all the time to do that on their own. So if you want to shortcut that process and have us handle everything for you, you could book a call using the first link below. We've helped our clients sign dozens of high ticket deals from YouTube, and we'll see if we can do the same for you. So if that's something you're interested in, just book a call below. But knowing what type of videos to post doesn't matter if the algorithm doesn't know who you're trying to reach. Because like I said before, the algorithm is all about analyzing your video and then pushing to that specific audience. So if you're not being extremely clear, and they're never going to know who to push it to. And this is exactly where most business owners nowadays completely screw things up, because they either go too wide and attract a large audience, or they go too narrow and don't speak to anyone at all. But these small creators have figured out a sweet spot that's making them millions of dollars. So let's look at somebody like Iman Ghazi, because he does a really great job of this. So this video specifically I like, although it doesn't have like a bunch of views or anything. YouTube is now on easy mode for info business owners, and you need to really take a step back and analyze what's happening here to understand the concept. So he's saying YouTube is now on easy mode for info business owners. Now, this is going to be speaking to his direct audience. So info business owners, think about that. And that's exactly who he's telling the algorithm to go find. Because the alternate title for this would just be YouTube is now on easy mode for creators. And that would be way larger of a pool. And maybe it gets more views for him, but it's not going to be pushed to the audience of info business owners that he wants to reach. So using titles like this, where it's for info business owners, is going to be a great way to differentiate yourself and actually show up on the algorithm where it counts. And then another example using Iman Ghazi, like the 150K per month prison. Now, that's not going to be something that really attracts like the average person. The average person might resonate with like, $1 million method or something like that. But the 150K month prison, you have to really understand the type of people who are going to be interested in a video title like that. It's saying that someone who's currently at $150,000 per month feels like they're in a prison. So the people who resonate with it are going to be somewhere around that range, and they want to know how to break past it. So this is going to be another good example of using your title to tell the algorithm exactly who you want to speak to. Now, Charlie Morgan has a couple good examples like this as well. So for example, right here, I made $30.7 million with cold email, so you can copy me. And this is actually based off his main channel, where the original outlier is how I made XYZ dollars, so you can just copy me. And you could see that small difference is going to mean something completely different to the algorithm, because when you say, for example, how I made $30 million so you can just copy me, that's going to speak to everybody in the world who wants to make more money. Whereas when you say how I made $30.7 million with cold email, it's only going to speak to people who are interested in cold email, or at least know what it is. So little shifts like that in these creators' titles is what's allowing them to target a small audience, but still make money from their channels, because they're speaking to exactly who they want to buy from them. And just like a helpful exercise, if you want to do this for yourself, first think of the ICP they are actually targeting. 7 to 9 figure e-commerce brands, it might be 7-figure agencies, it might be, info product owners and coaches, consultants, whatever you want to call it. And then pretty much just boil that down to the widest part of your ICP that you could speak to. So essentially, if it's like 7 to 9 figure e-commerce brands, you're just talking to e-commerce brands. If it's 7-figure agencies, you're talking to agencies, maybe even business owners as well, because not everybody who runs the agency model is going to consider themselves like an agency. And the other one, you get to say info owners or coaches. And then your titles and thumbnails are going to revolve around that. So it's going to be like how e-commerce brands can scale to XYZ, how agencies or how business owners can scale to XYZ, how info owners can scale to XYZ. This way you're speaking to your specific audience, but you're making it as wide as possible. But even if these creators know how to get people to click on their videos when they're speaking to the exact audience they want to attract, none of it matters if they don't get them to buy, which is exactly why they focus on a script structure that's designed to convert. Because even though it looks like some of their videos are put together at the last minute, I promise you they're strategically planned from start to finish. Like Jordan Welsh. All of his videos are raw content with the basic screen recording and the Loom video. But when you watch them, they all follow the exact same structure. And we can see that structure in action right here from one of my older videos. It's going through the intro, the body, and mainly the intro is going to be stating like some big claim. Usually he'll like repeat the title. He shows visual proof that he's done exactly what he's talking about, whether that's on like a Stripe account, whether it's in the YouTube analytics, something along those lines to validate the claim that he made in the title. And then also just show proof so you trust him as the person to take advice from. Qualification. He sometimes qualifies people by saying, so if you're looking for XYZ, like this isn't going to be for you. This way he's only speaking to the exact type of people who want to buy from him. He's going to handle objections by saying stuff like, you don't need millions of dollars, you don't need to work 10 hours a day, and you don't need tons of skills. This way people will start to realize they don't need to be some math wizard or some crazy person to be able to use his process. And he always goes through a roadmap by saying something like, I'm going to show you exactly how to do X, Y, and Z. Now he's not going to say that exactly, but it's something along the lines to get people to understand like what they're actually going to get from the video. So it's the big claim, it's the visual proof, it's the qualification, not always, he doesn't always do that, objection handling, and then it's going to be the roadmap. And from there, that leads you into the body, which he follows a what, why, how framework. And in his case, he's always leaning into the micro niche method. So he's going to kind of explain what that mechanism is, why it works, and then how it works. And this is usually going to be more around results and just spamming more social proof. And he'll throw in a mid-roll CTA, which is basically just a mid-roll call to action saying like, hey, if you want help doing this, just book a call below. And he'll throw that depending on where the video is at, like either at the why or the how. It's usually 1/3 or 1/2 through the video. And he just continues as normal after that call to action. So it's nothing crazy. He just uses this what, why, how framework, throws a mid-roll CTA about 1/3 or 1/2 way through. And then the outro, he finishes with another call to action. This way, the people who are watching the video, even if they don't make it to the end, they're going to get hit with that mid-roll call to action. And if they do make it to the end, then they're going to get hit with 2, increasing the amount of conversions he gets from a video like that, which is pretty much Jordan Welch's scripting strategy in a nutshell. Like I said, these are not just them throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's strategically planned, even though it looks like they're the most basic videos you've seen. Now you know exactly how small channels are winning with YouTube's new algorithm, but there are a lot of steps I couldn't cover in one video. So if you want to see the whole process we use to book calls from YouTube for our clients, you go watch this video and I'll see you over there.